Hello guys, this is Gabby and I'm going to be introducing you to the neighborhood or barrio of Little Village. Little Village is widely known for the wide range of Hispanics, ranging from Peru to Mexico. Many don't know this, but people just come down here to enjoy the wide range of Hispanic art. Everywhere you go, you will find beautiful murals and graffiti. Anything ranging from those two point of views you will find in Little Village. A lot of the murals painted or constructed in Little Village are done so by the youth. Even if you come down for the art, you can even come down to appreciate the art of taco and burrito making. Okay, guys, I know that wasn't such a good joke, but you get what I mean. You know, when it gets down to it, Little Village is basically widely known for its wide range of restaurants that can offer food from different parts of the Hispanic culture. You can go anywhere and get Cuban food, Venezuelan food, Puerto Rican food, and of course Mexican food. You can never go wrong in looking for food in Little Village. Basically, here, food making and maybe even eating is a type of art. Little Village is also known for kids who are well renowned to be excited for school. Although in the old times, people might have thought that Hispanic kids were mostly gonna be mechanics and basically low labor services and things like that. But here in this neighborhood, you will find people who, well, kids who enjoy art, like this mural. Kids painted this. Can you believe it? And you will find kids who want to go to college and who want to experience any education that any other kid would want. So that's what Mine and Keith's project is going to be about, explaining how the education system has changed and how it has affected kids' attitudes, even in a neighborhood that is predominantly Hispanic, which are the ones who were mostly affected by the Chicano movement. So stay tuned and see if you find any interesting facts that you like about our project. So if you bring up anything that you like, that's great.
Hey everyone, this is Keith. What you're seeing here is a demographic map of Chicago in 1950, 10 years prior before the legendary Chicano movements and walkouts. Little village that you see here was predominantly Polish and European dominated. Latinos were not fully established in Chicago before the Chicano movement, did not have a significant impact on city government and education, which led them being unrepresented in Chicago.
From this new demographic, you can see that the Hispanic community has grown. It even took over the prominently Polish neighborhoods. You can see Lawndale, Little Village, and Pilsen have basically taken over that part of the Chicago neighborhood sections. In the previous demographic, you can see that Little Village has basically been united and able to coincide as a community together. With this statue here, which is called the Ripple, you can see that Little Village has basically gone along with the idea of the ripple effect, that one little ripple can cause many. So, what they say is that one little action can cause many people to react and want to kind of act on it themselves too. This connects to our project because we see that these students saw that one person had the idea that this wasn't fair treatment of their educational rights. So when the students saw this, they saw that they should take action as well, and they formed a sort of community and understanding of what they needed to do in order to fight for their students' rights. They kind of created a sort of ripple effect in everyone. Everyone had the idea of standing up and helping these people fight for the rights that they deserved. Lots of times people don't even know what led these students to walk out and stand up for what they believed in. Lots of people have the misconception that it was just because they got tired of being mistreated for speaking Spanish. But in reality, it was because the idea that Hispanics were only meant to do low labor jobs and should basically just drop out and go into trading school because that's all they were going to do, either a plumber and an electrician. That was all that they would succeed in because they would not go to college. So these kids got tired of having to go through this and trying to prove people wrong when other students who weren't Hispanic never even had to prove anything to anyone because To everyone else, they were going to succeed, while the Hispanics would stay down and be compliant with what they were given. And because these kids never gave up and always wanted to succeed and always wanted to prove everyone wrong that Hispanics could be somebody in this world, we now have a better educational system. We now have kids who want to go to school. We now have kids who have the chance to achieve the dreams that they always wanted to do. We now have a higher percentage of Hispanics graduating high school. We have a higher percentage of Hispanics going to college and even getting at least an associate's degree. That is such a big change from the ideals that were going on during the 1960s, during the walkouts. And because of the educational change in the curriculum, we now have better schools. We now have schools in Hispanic neighborhoods that take charge and try to get every kid to desire education. We now have teachers who are bilingual and aren't afraid to let kids speak Spanish in class. Spanish is now acceptable. Spanish is now something to nurture because now it is acceptable to speak Spanish in class. Although it does not seem like a big step for us, but for those students who were involved in the walkouts, that is a giant leap. We should be appreciative of the idea that we can speak Spanish in class freely. Because of the effort of these students, we now should be so proud of where we come from. We should embrace our roots. We no longer have to hide it. We no longer have to pretend we didn't come from there. We can now basically paint our culture everywhere and show people how proud we are of our ethnicity. Because look at this mural, it's so beautiful. It basically represents someone's proudness of their country, of their roots, of their ethnicity. Something that you should have all learned from these kids' efforts is that you should be proud no matter where you come from. You should be proud. You should be yelling it from the mountains. You should be telling everyone loud and clear where you come from, where your roots stand. And you should never let anyone tell you if you'll be successful. You will define your success. No one else will define it for you. You need to let people know where you stand in this successful world. These students knew that they were known, they were bound for better futures than what they were left to scrape off other people's plates. They knew they were not supposed to have their futures defined by other people. They defined their futures themselves. And that's what you need to do. Let these students' resilience and determination ring in your ears because this is all something you guys should all feel. The idea that you need to define who you are in the successful world. Know that you are powerful enough to change the educational system. If you feel something's wrong, stand up. Because that is exactly what these students did. They saw something wrong and they brought it out. They spoke about it, they read about it, and they preached about it. They told everyone they knew what was wrong with this educational system. And guess what? People heard them. Important people heard them. So trust me, you have voices and they have voices, and they're all powerful. Like these students were led to believe that Chicano was something to be ashamed about. But in reality, Chicano means power. Chicano means you have resilience and determination in order to change something you saw wrong. So no matter if you're Chicano, if you're an American, if you're Irish, or any other ethnicity, never be afraid to tell people where you come from. Like in the wise words of Cesar Chavez, students must have initiative. They should not be mere imitators. They must learn to think and act for themselves and be free. By this, he means that you cannot go around letting people define who you are, letting people define your roots, letting people define the success that you will achieve. You need to go out in the world like these students did and change what is wrong. The world will not change if no one takes initiative. See something wrong, change it. That is one thing I want you to do after you see this project. Go home and define what your success is. Think to yourself, what do I want to do? What have these kids' initiative and resilience taught me? What can I take away from this lesson? What have I learned? Can I do this? Oh, yes, you can. Will you do this? You will. You will go on to higher education and you will lead, you will create a path for your children and other Hispanics.